Welcome to the Depth Dive. Today we're jumping right into one of the biggest industrial shifts happening right now,
Yeah.
the transformation of the pharmaceutical industry. And we're not talking about just a small upgrade here. We are seeing this incredible acceleration from what we called Pharma 4.0 into, well, a totally new era.
Into Pharma 5.0
Yeah.
and really beyond.
Exactly.
And this is such a foundational change. So for you listening to this, our deep dive is really your shortcut to understanding the the three main pillars that are defining this new world. We're moving way beyond just technology for technology's sake. Now it's about prioritizing human centricity, deep sustainability, and a kind of radical collaboration. It's a total rethink of how drugs are researched, made, and even delivered.
You know, when you hear Pharma 5.0, I think your mind immediately goes to robots and AI, right?
Of course.
And that's part of the story for sure. But the big surprise in all the material is that this shift is at its core human. Pharma 4.0 was driven by this idea that you could automate away human error. What was the big flaw there?
It just wasn't adaptable. The 4.0 model was great at optimizing tasks that were, repetitive.
Sure.
But when it faced a genuinely new problem, like, say, adapting a production line for a sudden new virus variant or optimizing a really complex cell therapy, that pure automation just hits a wall.
It stalls out.
It does. The future factory relies on intelligent systems that are built to enhance our creativity and intuition, not to replace us.
So it's a bit of a philosophical reset then.
It is.
Our mission today is to show you exactly what this future looks like. What does a human-centric pharma sector actually mean in practice? And maybe more importantly, how fast is all this really arriving?
Let's start with that core idea, which comes from the broader concept of Industry 5.0.
Yeah.
It's a really sharp contrast with what came before.
And that's the key, isn't it? The contrast. Industry 4.0 was all about maximum efficiency, usually by just swapping out a human operator for a machine.
Total automation.
But Industry 5.0 realizes you're losing something valuable there. You lose creativity, problem solving, adaptability. So now the focus is all on collaboration. It's about designing systems where people work with the technology.
Exactly. And that idea of collaboration leads to two huge shifts: hyper-personalized manufacturing and a much bigger focus on worker well-being.
Okay.
Think about an operator on the factory floor. They aren't just pushing a button anymore. They're supervising a whole complex process, and they have intelligent machines working right alongside them, handling the massive amounts of data,
While the human solves the tricky problems.
the creative problems that AI just can't get its head around yet. It's the best possible use of a person's time.
And this whole evolution seems to have a deep environmental conscience built right in from the start.
It does.
Sustainability isn't just some afterthought or a PR campaign in Pharma 5.0. It's a core design principle, and it's driven by this goal of getting to net zero carbon footprints.
Well, it's non-negotiable now. Regulations are tightening. Public expectation is higher than ever.
And that's where all the smart tech really starts to pay off.
It is. It's not just about, putting up some solar panels. It's about deep integration. We're seeing AI-driven algorithms that analyze energy use across an entire facility, optimizing everything in real time: heating, ventilation, machine run times,
And that can cut energy use by, what, a pretty significant amount.
by double-digit percentages. It's a huge impact.
And I imagine you see that same efficiency in resource management, too.
Oh, absolutely. Advanced analytics and sensors are being used for massive water recycling efforts, so pharma plants aren't straining local water supplies. Plus, you have real-time monitoring of raw materials, which is drastically cutting down on waste.
It sounds like a full adoption of the circular economy principles we've seen in other industries.
It really is. The sector is fully embracing the 4 Rs: reduce, recycle, reuse, and recover. This aligns the whole supply chain with some pretty rigorous environmental goals. It turns efficiency into genuine green practice.
Let's talk about the tools that make this happen. I mean, the most visible piece of technology has to be the collaborative robot, the cobot. It's like the physical symbol of the 5.0 idea.
Cobots are the complete opposite of that old automation model, where robots were locked away in safety cages.
Right.
These systems use advanced computer vision, haptic sensing, and AI so they can work safely right next to people. If you move into its path, the cobot just instantly adapts its speed, its trajectory.
Which gives you a ton of flexibility.
So much flexibility. You can do rapid changeovers and customization that the old fixed automation just couldn't handle.
And the money is definitely following this tech. The data we saw showed the global pharma cobot market was, what, around $74 million in 2023?
That's right, and it's projected to grow at a TGR of almost 10% through 2030.
That's a clear signal. Companies are redesigning their factory floors as we speak.
And that investment isn't just for, metal arms. It's funding augmented intelligence. This is the crucial non-physical layer. The AI assistants in Pharma 5.0 aren't there to replace the human decision makers. They're there to provide real-time expertise and predictive insights.
It's like having a team of data scientists constantly looking over your shoulder in a good way.
In a good way, precisely. They create these sophisticated decision support systems, like very intuitive dashboards and visualization tools that sift through enormous amounts of data.
So the machine handles the processing.
And the human provides the judgment, the critical thinking, the context. That combination is where you get the maximum strength of both kinds of intelligence.
Okay, moving from the process to the product. The ultimate goal of being human-centric is being patient-centric.
Right.
And that means moving away from mass production and toward truly personalized medicine. And the key tool for that seems to be additive manufacturing or, 3D printing drugs.
This is a real game changer. It just breaks the rigid mold of manufacturing. 3D printing lets you produce highly customized drug products on demand. Patient-specific doses, no more one-size-fits-all pills.
We're seeing things like multi-material inkjet 3D printing, which means you can create a single complex tablet with multiple drugs inside.
And each with different release characteristics. Some dissolve right away, some hours later.
For a patient juggling 5 different pills a day, putting that all into one dose is huge. It simplifies everything, improves compliance.
And this isn't just theoretical. This is past the highest regulatory hurdles. The big milestone was Spreedum, an anti-epileptic medication. It became the first 3D printed tablet to get FDA approval.
So the technology is mature, it's safe, it's ready to scale.
Exactly.
This on-demand model also solves some huge economic problems, right? I'm thinking of orphan drugs for really rare diseases.
Yes.
The patient population can be tiny, which makes traditional mass production just impossibly expensive.
On-demand production completely flips that economic model. With support from things like continuous manufacturing and modular production systems, Pharma 5.0 can actually serve those small, specific groups of patients economically,
Which pushes the whole industry toward individualized medicine.
optimizing it for every single patient.
So personalized production needs a ton of data, flowing in real time, connecting that factory directly to the patient. Which brings us to the Internet of Medical Things, the IOMT.
The IOMT is basically the nervous system for this new personalized world. It connects everything from glucose monitors to smart pill bottles and wearable diagnostic devices.
And the market scale is just wild. It's projected to grow to over $860 billion by 2030.
It's staggering. And that scale gives everyone, manufacturers and doctors, true end-to-end visibility. It connects the quality data from a 3D printer on the production line directly to that patient's actual regimen.
And that connectivity supports major health goals.
Of course. Remote patient monitoring sends back this incredibly granular health data to clinicians, which allows them to intervene proactively before a small problem becomes an emergency.
Which should reduce hospital readmissions.
Significantly, which is a massive win for everyone.
And that huge IOMT data stream feeds right back into the sustainability pillar we were talking about. It makes green tech even smarter.
Absolutely. The data from IOMT, combined with sensor data from the facility, lets manufacturers optimize their use of sustainable resources.
I see.
So facilities are integrating renewable energy, like solar arrays, but it's the analytics that make sure that power is used as efficiently as possible. Plus, continuous manufacturing is being widely adopted because it just inherently uses less energy and creates less waste than old-school batch processing.
It's a tech win that's also an environmental win.
An imperative, really.
Now, all of this digital acceleration is forcing regulators to completely change how they work. The FDA is leading a huge shift toward real-time data submission.
This is one of the biggest shifts in regulatory history. We are moving away from that static, periodic reporting model.
Where companies would just dump a massive report every few months.
They're causing huge review delays. Now we're moving to dynamic, continuous communication between the industry and the regulators.
So regulators are watching the clinical trial data streams as they happen, not waiting for a final report.
Correct. It enables continuous clinical trial monitoring and immediate tracking of adverse events. To do this, the industry is adopting frameworks like ECTD v4.0 and FHIR. And it all feeds into the FDA's new system, the Electronic Submissions Gateway Next Generation, ESG Next Gen, which actually launched in April 2025.
It was already happening.
It's an active policy reality.
And this continuous monitoring has to apply to the AI itself too, right? Especially if it's making decisions about drug safety.
It absolutely must. And the FDA issued draft guidance in early 2025 specifically for AI in regulatory submissions. It basically mandates that sponsors prove their AI models are fit for purpose.
Which means?
Rigorous validation. It's a huge step to address risks around bias, reliability, and just making sure we know how the AI reached its conclusion. Transparency.
Beyond regulation, the scientific tools themselves are taking a huge leap forward. You've got quantum computing and synthetic biology.
Quantum computing is just a computational jump that changes the scale of R&D completely. Well, traditional computers really struggle to model molecular behavior at the quantum level. But that's essential for drug discovery. Quantum computers can handle that complexity, allowing for precise modeling of drug interactions and dramatically optimizing clinical trial designs.
It just removes one of the biggest bottlenecks in early research.
It does. And then you have synthetic biology, which is this fusion of engineering and biology. It's about creating biological systems that are, well, programmable.
Programmable organisms. That sounds like something out of science fiction.
It's science fact now, and it's fundamental to the new wave of medicine. Synthetic biology is the engine behind advanced cell and gene therapies, and it allows for the rapid engineering of highly personalized vaccines.
So instead of chemical synthesis, we're using biology as the factory.
We're using biological systems as our manufacturing platform.
This sheer volume of innovation requires massive resources. Let's talk about the price tag, the R&D investment.
The commitment is undeniable. The sources confirmed that the top 20 global pharma companies invested $145 billion in R&D in 2023 alone.
A 4.5% increase.
It's a staggering amount of capital.
And the leaders are really setting the pace. Merck invested $30.5 billion, which was over half of their total revenue.
50.8%. And then you have Roche and Johnson & Johnson, both investing over $15 billion each.
But even with all that money and all the new efficiencies, the average cost to develop one single drug is still incredibly high, about $2.3 billion.
It is. And that fact really underscores why all these Pharma 5.0 efficiencies, from AI-optimized trials to continuous manufacturing, they aren't optional luxuries. They are absolute economic necessities.
And to manage all that globally, collaboration and standardization are key. You can't have a global personalized medicine market if the systems can't talk to each other.
Precisely. And global collaboration is all about interoperability. So you see agencies like the FDA, with its CDER data standards program, and the European Medicines Agency, with its ISO IDMP standards, working really hard to ensure that information can be exchanged seamlessly across borders.
Which supports global health goals.
Guided by strategies like the WHO's digital health strategy, yes.
But just throwing money and tech at the problem is never enough, is it? The sources really stress that the true advantage comes down to the internal culture of an organization.
Innovation culture is the ultimate differentiator. You can have all the AI in the world, but if your people don't know how to use it, or if they're afraid to fail, you just stall out.
So what are the key strategies?
The sources outlined 4 of them for building a kind of continuous learning environment. And the first one, probably what you'd expect, it's about changing how you see failure.
Right. You have to incentivize sharing failures.
Exactly. Move away from a culture of hiding mistakes. In a data-rich world, a failure is just a data point. Sharing it helps everyone else learn faster.
That's a huge mindset shift, especially in a highly regulated industry.
It is. Second, organizations have to build data analytics as a core competency for all employees, not just the data science teams. Third, you encourage cross-functional training. Break down the silos between R&D, manufacturing, and regulatory affairs.
Everyone needs to understand the whole picture.
Yes. And the fourth strategy is investing in comprehensive learning programs.
What does that look like?
Everything from digital literacy classes to using AR and VR experiences to simulate complex manufacturing scenarios. You have to make sure the workforce is evolving as fast as the tech they're using.
That focus on continuous learning really is the engine that drives all of this. It brings it back to the idea that the human element is the centerpiece.
What is?
The organizations that prioritize human creativity, genuine sustainability, and global collaboration, they're the ones who are going to lead this transformation.
So, to sort of wrap up our deep dive for you, Pharma 5.0 is this complete convergence of the human expert and augmented intelligence. It's all defined by hard targets for sustainability. and it's supported by this continuous global digital collaboration.
We've really redefined how drugs are made, delivered, and regulated.
We have.
And that level of real-time transformation creates all these new logistical and ethical questions that you, as you navigate the space, really need to be thinking about.
Exactly. I mean, we've covered continuous manufacturing, the constant flow of IOMT data, and personalized treatments that are delivered instantly with 3D printing. So here's the thought to mull over.
Okay.
What new ethical questions arise when a patient's treatment can be instantly printed and changed based on real-time data flowing from their wearable devices? And how will global regulatory bodies ever keep pace with that immediate individualized feedback loop? That's the real challenge.
An absolutely fascinating and rapidly approaching future. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the next era of pharmaceuticals.
We see you next time.